Hello my friends, welcome back to a new episode of Harstem Hunts Hackers. Today we have a replay sent in to us by Key Teslas playing against this green player here, Hack. A couple of suspicious moments here, as well as the fact that rather than losing games, he ties every single game. So he's definitely a tie hacker, but the question is he also a map hacker? That's what we're here to find out. That was not the only thing, by the way, that got complained about. It was kind of an IODIS and a hacker complaint at the same time. He also said that this player just spammed cyclones, which is an easy-to-use unit, I think, or something along those lines. So I'm curious just to see the game for the gameplay, and of course curious to see if this is actually a map hacker as well. Ooh.
Command center upgrade is finished.
This is kind of interesting immediately here, right off the bat. Look at this. This is just beautiful. So the Overlord is over here. We even see the screen moving to that Overlord, or it went to where that Overlord is. We don't know if it's, peeking through the fog of war or not, but you'd reckon that if you know there's an Overlord here and you have a Marine in your control, that's where you're sending the Marine. But that's not at all what's happening here. Look at this. He's waiting. Hack is waiting until it moves into real vision. Then he goes towards it, like 2-3 seconds after it moves into vision. That to me feels very much like a natural move. Let's take a look at the APM. APM is fairly low. That can be an indicator of someone that, is getting compensation somewhere else. He's gonna clear. Ooh. Another interesting move. Look at this. 2 interesting moves in the first 30 seconds that are diametrically opposed. Look at this. So we first have this move where he doesn't go towards the Overlord, and now we have a pullback after already trying to take out this Overlord, but then probably seeing that these links are going across the map, pulls back. And another thing that was interesting that I just now noticed, look at this. Look at the last command that gets given here by Hack. Look here on the low ground. Poof. 2 move commands right next to this Overlord. And then a pullback. Now I hear you guys say, well, what if he's just playing safe, blah, blah, blah. I guess there is a chance, but really, it is very rare for there to be links out on the map at this point, because the hatchery finishes, if it's a hatch first, 2 minutes into the game, and then the first links would spawn at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So links arriving on your side of the map would be like 240. So you're really just blind countering a spawning pool. And I think if you have 80 APM average and you're in Diamond 2, I don't think that's really on your mind, to be honest. Especially given the fact that his build order is god-awful. I don't think this is someone that is very aware of link timings at all. Given the fact that he doesn't even really have a timing for his first factory or for his gases or really for anything. His second depot was too late, for example. Okay, what gimmick is this? This is a fast expand, baby. It is a fast expand. It was an expansion before he took any gases, which is, quite frankly, just a bad build. Now, we have the factory now landing. Ooh, almost links entering. Let's go for a tech lab to make the build even a little bit worse. This would make sense if there's something like a roach warren out, but there's not. So this tech lab is bad. Given the fact that there is no attack coming in, I would expect to see a tech lab and tank response if a Roach Warren is building, which actually starts building now. So this is not the counter to the Roach Warren. This already went down before. Otherwise, you want a reactor because you want map control with Hellions most of the time. And he's actually going to go for Blue Flame, which once again, reactor into tech lab would have just been better in this case. So this is not a good build. It also isn't a build that necessarily counters what his opponent is doing. You see, I'm just not sure what this Roach Warren is going to do. I guess he's going to build roaches and walk across the map, but feels a bit late. 5 Overlords now coming in. Let's go back in the first person here. I have some key timings written down on a piece of paper here in front of me that were in the email, and the first timing is coming up. It's at 4:55. I feel like we already had 2 key timings, but we're about to get a real key timing according to the submitter here, Key Teslas. Another interesting thing, of course, is the complete lack of scouting, like just 0 scouting. But I also noticed that at lower levels, there are people that either scout a lot and all the time, and then you have people that just never scout at all. So it's really hard to say. It's like, well, it's like, oh, this guy is hacking just because of that. But it can be a contributing factor. You know, it definitely can be. So far, the most suspicious thing has been the pullback of the 2 Marines against the links that hadn't been spotted. So here comes the timing, 4:55, written down on my paper. I'm afraid to reveal it. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Couple of roaches moving out, get spotted instantly through the fog of war here by our good friend Hack. Now, you would expect if you have a tech lab with a factory to start a tank, but hackers have not, you know, been known to really be aided by any intelligence in most of their decisions in life. So I'm not super surprised here to see more Cyclones being pumped. It's perhaps an easier to use unit, as this attack technically has no right of succeeding. I don't also think there's much of a right of failing. You're doing this type of building and someone that's just massing Hellions. It feels like maybe it should work, but it hit quite late. We have +1 vehicle weapons almost done already, which is kind of wild. We have a barracks that's now floating. I'm not sure if this is the best way of defending. Like, this type of move, I think only makes sense if you know that there are no reinforcements coming. Or if you just don't quite understand what the best way of defending is. Like, obviously you'd want a wall if there's a serious attack coming in. Like, you wouldn't want it to be open. You only want it open if you kind of want to defend your wall with units that can kind of kite back and forth. So it is a couple of pretty suspicious things already in my mind. A couple of pretty suspicious things. But that first not sniping the Overlord move is something that does confuse me a bit. But it could just be bad play, of course. So, Cyclones are going to clean this up. That's absolutely beautiful. You have a little bit of money flotation. You have a lot of gas in the bank. How is this? I really wonder if people just don't think about their gas mining at all. But this is one of the things that always frustrates me very much, just in general at lower levels, is that people tend to not understand how to balance their resources at all. They either have, like we see here for key Teslas, like freaking 1k minerals and no gas, or what Hack has is 900 gas and 200 minerals in a composition that is mainly reliant on minerals, let's face it. Like, Cyclone Hellion is not this crazy gas-intense comp. It really ain't. This is not like pushing out Banshees or Ravens or Battlecruisers at a high pace. It really isn't. Or tanks, for that matter. Freaking Cyclones, they hardly cost anything. Good control so far. Macro behind this also seems decent. Money stays low, at least. Fairly low. 2 more CCs on the way, of course, helping with that. This is a serious attack. Still feel like Key Teslas is in an okay position. No. Up 12 workers. Yeah, down an upgrade. Does he have a lair yet? It does have a lair, so it could get roach speed, which would be very helpful. Just fully focusing on the macro and the micro, really. Not much else here happening. Just consistently controlling these units. Building SCVs. Actually, it does feel good. Starts his +2 as well during all of this. I'm honestly not super unimpressed by how Hack has been macroing and microing behind all of this. I don't think he's queuing up too many units at the moment. He's just building fairly consistently. He has a bunch of reactors ready, 2 armories. What is this? I think this is the speed upgrade for Cyclones. Not sure why we're looking at this, but love to see it. Oh, apparently a moment was 8:04. I had it on my paper. I was looking at my paper to see when our next moment was, and it was 8:04. I must have missed that. How did I miss that? 8:02, 8:03, 8:04. I mean, that's kind of weird. It's also one of these things where you don't even have to look at it. You can see on the minimap that it's just 3 units or 4 units. Like, you should be capable of dealing with that by just sending a single Hellion over there, you know? Oh, nice little A move there on his own rocks. Love to see it. Those 4 links that he spotted in the dead space and then dropped mules in front of, is still gonna take out one of the 3 mules. Which is just impressive. That is really just impressive. This is not easy. This really isn't... Oh, it's gonna spot the army here. This felt like an accident, though. He didn't really seem ready with his army movement at all to deal with this. I think he just accidentally grabbed it. Like, even if he had map hack, I don't think he had the, you know, the mental space open here. Our good friend Hack to kind of mentally deal with this. So continued Cyclones, more and more Cyclones. Love to see some more upgrades as well. So we're going to see another factory. Fort base going to fly over to the Fort base location, obviously. Do you have an eBay out? No, we don't. That sucks. Kind of want to check what's here. No, not much. Really not much. Okay, let's continue. And I gotta, you know, figure out where the opponent's army is for it to make sense to the fog of war peak every now and again. Okay, we gotta move upward, which is just a natural movement. Now it's gonna piss off. Is this a fight he could have fought? Should he have been afraid here? I don't think he should have been. I think this is actually a fight you want to fight. So if you had known your opponent's army size, you would want to fight it. But you'd only want to fight this if you know you're winning. So maybe he's just really bad at judging fights. This is why it's so difficult, because I don't know how good these players actually are. Like, with full information, you 100% should be fighting there with freaking, 14 Cyclones against 10 Roaches. You're gonna lose half a Hellion, and you're gonna kill every single Roach. That's nothing. That was actually nothing. He just Fog of War peeked into nothing. I think just to send units there, probably. This is a good split up, by the way. Holy crap. This is really neat. This actually is really neat. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. I mean, this is a decent response. I wish we had some Hellions here. I really do wish we had some Hellions here, but the micro is fine. We could just move forward and kill absolutely everything. The Nidus network is now going down. That's already in vision of the command center, though. So that's really nothing to be very worried about. This also is just an odd call. If you have full information, to kind of go for like a semi-base trade. I'm not sure if I would be this confident in my base trade call here. If I'm hack. Actually not super liking that position whatsoever. Swarmos going in the night, this is what you see. Okay, we have a moment coming up in about a minute from now. 12 minutes and 4 seconds is what I have written down as a key moment. I'm just not seeing it. I really am not. What has been the most suspicious moment? It's been the peek through the fog of war onto the Roaches. That has been the most suspicious. And then the subsequent move out towards the top of the ramp with the Hellion Marine. But like all of these calls, unit movement wise, were really bad. Despite having good unit splits initially. This went pretty poor, I feel like. And there was no real reason for it to go this poor. For it to be this poor. Okay, we have another Nidus coming out. Where is that? Was that in the middle of the map? Did he just pop out this Nidus? No way. I guess so. Hack is not worried though. It's gonna try moving towards the top side once more. Add some depots. +3. And his position really sucks. He's in position to deal with this. These 2 mines will shoot. Probably gonna be capable of clearing it, right? If you fight here with the Hellbats. +2 attack, that's a pretty big deal. Cyclone's also really tanky these days. Still quite speedy too. More Cyclones on the way. I actually think Key Tesla is in a pretty decent spot. Just shouldn't engage into this. Probably should be using the Swarm Host to try and hit the main and the third base. Just kind of moving forward here with Nidus, which doesn't feel like it makes a whole lot of sense. What was the 1204 move? I haven't seen it. I keep forgetting to look at the key timings. I mean, what here could have even been the move? 1204. Microing the Cyclones? Okay, he's queuing up. I just saw here. He's queuing up a lot of units, but that is just the mark of a bad player, not the mark of a hacker. Doesn't have this in his control group. Honestly, there's been a few moments that were a bit dicey. We've had 2 Fog of War peaks, 1 on 4 links, 1 on the Roaches. But almost everything else feels honestly fairly legit. And so much bad unit movement. And so many out of position moments. It's just hard for me to believe that this is someone that has full information. The next one was going to be 13 minutes and 10 seconds in, so that comes up in about 30 seconds. I'm once again going to keep an eye on it, but I haven't been impressed by these moments. I really haven't been. Ooh, what's that? Oh. Ah. Oh. This one is impressive. Poof. He misclicks on the map, which you could say, oh, misclick on the mini-map, but then he screen scrolls to the location where the banelings are. That I'm not a fan of. And he instantly starts moving in position. So, yeah. So, okay, this is so sick because key Teslas here probably... Yeah, I was just really confused looking at this. Like, oh, that's weird. That's a weird move. Why would you be out here? Nah, this is not okay. I really started to delude myself into believing that we had an innocent man here. That he was just a tie hacker, but nah. No way. No way. Oh no. Let's see if he finds the Nidus network on the right side. He seems to just not care about Niduses though. Probably not understanding what can come from them. Like, it's just a building. Why would I care about a building? I don't even know if you get warnings for that. This was a good pickup, by the way. Holy crap. That was a good pickoff. It's really neat how he manages to find everything that's morphing, everything that's vulnerable here in the past minute and a half. I guess Cyclones are really nice because it's such a mobile unit as well, right? So you're always going to catch basically everything. It's pretty easy to micro. Knowing what your opponent has is huge. I was thinking, if I'm a hacker, what unit would I want to build? And I was thinking, I probably want to build Cyclones and I probably want to have battle cruisers. Like, building battle cruisers when you have full vision of what your opponent is doing has to be really freaking sick. That has to be one of the nicest things that you can do. Like, you're never going to get caught by corruptors or infestors that are burrowed because you can just see them. Like, I'd just be banging out battle cruisers at a high pace, especially if I'd sucked. Because, you know, it's easy to macro, it's easy to micro, it's easy to everything. I mean, the auto attack, you don't really have to worry about that unit. You can teleport around, which is great. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a really nice fight for a Terran player. Oh, key Teslas. That's so sad. It's gonna cost you a couple of points here, buddy. Wasn't a good spot for a long time, basically until he started going for the Nidus Swarm Host. Now has a Nidus 5 Ravager in his opponent's main base. I feel like Swarm Hosts, they're good if you're really good at the game, but if you're not really good at the game, it feels like Swarm Hosts don't really get any value. Like, you really need to be capable of pushing hard with the Swarm Hosts. You need to know what to do with them. And I feel like this only really happens at the highest level. It's just a very high level unit, I think. Oh, actually gets the lift off. I hadn't expected that. Double Nidus is in the main base. This base being taken out as well. I mean, this feels extremely over. If I'm the Zerg here, what I'd want to do probably is get infestors. Some amount of fungals or something along those lines. Some amount of fungals I think would be good. Vipers not quite as great. I mean, they're nice that you can pick off individual Cyclones, but getting fungals would be huge because you can lock stuff into place, and then either with the Locust from the Swarm Host or just the Roach Ravager, you're just gonna have a great time. Not sure why you're building the Great Wall here. Great Wall of turrets. Now that's morphing once more. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, he sees this on the mini-map. There's nothing weird about that. Just want to clear this. Yeah. He was looking at the rocks. Like, imagine that he wasn't hacking. Because at this point, I'm like 99% sure, to be honest. I'm very, very secure in my call here. The nice thing, though, about hackers is that they don't stop hacking while they're winning. They just continue, you know? They can't help themselves. And if you're a smart hacker, which seems to be rare, but if you are a smart hacker, like the moment you know you're in a good enough lead that you can't lose anymore, you could just start, you know, making mistakes. That's when I would start making mistakes. Like, I feel like it's so easy to be a good hacker. But the problem is that all hackers are bad. They're so silly. This hatch is down, no cancel. That's a mistake. Adrenal glands on the way. Definitely not the thing you want to be building. Like links in general are not the unit you want to be getting. So adrenal glands is not the upgrade you want to be getting. Nidus network next to the opponent's CC also doesn't make any sense. You know, our green player here might be hacking, but Key Teslas is making some serious mistakes as well. This is truly an IOTIS and a hacker combination then. I think this is a suck and a hack. A hack and a suck. This has not been a very good look. Ah. Easy. Yeah, I'm sure it is for you, buddy. With full map vision, things do tend to be a little bit easier. Yeah, I know it's easy.
Exhausted all the minerals in the cluster.
Ay.
No more minerals.
It's the Cancer Imba Cyclone. Oh. That's a bit much perhaps, but... Yeah, why you go Swarm Host? A fair question. A fair question here from our hacker. Actually a fair question. I don't like this though. Whether you're hacking or not, you should never say easy when you're winning. It's a low tier move. And hackers are generally low tier people. You can't really help it. They feel obliged to flame a little bit as well. My man here at the... Oh, actually 173 APM is not that bad. Zerg with the 300 APM is definitely not bad. Should probably leave. Let's just speed this through at this point. Play an actual game.
Time to celebrate victory.
Not a gimmick. And then question people. Yeah. Well, I feel like complaining about losing to Mass Cyclone is a bit lame if you're building Roach Swarm Host. Because let's face it, a couple of investors would have definitely changed the outcome of this game. Or just not building the Swarm Host, not throwing 20 Niduses away. But despite that, it feels very clear to me that Hack is actually a hacker. I think you don't need too many good Fog of War peaks. Like there's other things like the circumstantial stuff you need a lot of, but the Fog of War peaks straight onto units 3 or 4 times in a game is like the chances of that are so freaking small. Yeah, I'm so confident here. This is going straight to Blizzard. This guy is off the ladder as soon as he can say the word hack. Yeah, I'm certain that's gonna be it. I'm calling it. That will also be it for me today. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Send in your own replays if you believe you found a hacker, especially if you're not entirely sure. I feel like lately we've been getting a lot of hackers that have actually been hackers. What I like are hackers that aren't hackers, but people that just get lucky or that might be hacking, but maybe aren't. Be sure to send those in as well. And perhaps next week or in 2 weeks from now, we'll do your replay. Bye-bye.